Okay, it says, hire purchase. Quite often a store will allow you to take home an item without having paid for it in full. You will then continue to pay for the item by means of equal installments, usually monthly, until the item or loan is paid off. Interest is charged at a fixed rate, which is included in the installments. When interest is calculated using the simple interest formula, this form of purchasing items is called a hire purchase. And it says, note, the financial institution or the store actually owns the item until it is fully paid for. You are actually hiring the item until it is paid for, and hence the name for this type of calculation. Okay, so guys, let's understand exactly what a hire purchase agreement is. Let us imagine that right now you need a fridge and you don't have 7,000 Rand cash. It means you go into the store and you say that you're prepared to give them a deposit, and then you are prepared to pay for the fridge for the next 3 years or 5 years. You will then enter into an agreement with them, and they will say, that's fine, but we're going to charge you interest at a simple interest rate. Now, clearly, that is not for their benefit. They have to make money out of a hire purchase agreement. So there are some advantages to them, very clearly, and there's some advantages to you, but there's also disadvantages to you. So one of the things that you need to be aware of is what these advantages and disadvantages actually are. So we are actually having a look on the bottom of page 100, and we just want to open your eyes to the advantages first of all. All right, the advantages, it says, you can make use of the object immediately. Well, obviously, if you need a fridge and you go and you buy the fridge today, get delivered tomorrow, you've got the object immediately, okay? Instant, you don't have to wait 3 years until you can afford the fridge. The second advantage is that you avoid price increases due to inflation. So guys, this means that if you wait 3 years and save up over 3 years, by the time you've got enough money to pay for the cost of the fridge now, the fridge price has gone up because of inflation. So it's actually sometimes a good thing to buy now and to pay it off. But the disadvantages are also inherent in the situation, because it says that the item costs more when interest is added. Well, clearly that has to be because the furniture shop has to charge you interest. So they're actually going to charge you every month, and you're going to land up paying more. Interest rates can fluctuate or increase, causing an unexpected increase in the installments. Now, this means that, let us say that today you go and you buy the fridge and they offer you 8% interest. But perhaps things go a bit wonky with the store and they need to get in more capital. So without telling you or without asking your permission, they just put the interest up to 10%. And so what you had budgeted for now becomes a different amount. So thirdly, we've got interest is charged on the full purchase price, even when almost all the original amount has been paid. Okay, so guys, what this means is, let's say that you buy a fridge for 8,000, and next month you pay 1,000 off. So now you've actually only got 7,000 outstanding. They will still charge you interest on the original 8,000. Okay, at the end of the following month, when you've only got 6,000 outstanding, they'll still again charge you interest on the 8,000, the original amount. And that actually, for me, is a bit criminal and a bit of a rip-off. Let's go to one of the examples and see how we put this hire purchase into practice. All right, it says, and I think that you can follow me, we're on page 101. It says, you take out a hire purchase loan. So again, let's just get busy immediately. All right, to buy a fridge for 5,200 Rand. The fridge is paid back over a period of 3 years. The bank that grants you the loan requires you to make an initial deposit of 20% of the value of the fridge. The interest rate paid on this loan is 12% per annum. Okay, so we've highlighted all the relevant information. Now we just need to see what it is that they want from us. So the first thing that they want is for us to calculate, evaluate, work out the value of the monthly installment. Okay, so let's get busy on this. So our first bit of information that we had is that the cost of our fridge was 5,200 Rand. Okay? But, as is normally the case, they want us to put down a deposit. And if you recall, they said that we had to put down a deposit for 20% of the original value. Okay? Then what we're going to do is we're going to pay off the remainder. All right? And if you remember, it was going to be over a 3-year time period. Okay? And they also said that the interest was going to be at 12%. Right, so first of all, we need to find out what the remainder is after we've taken our cost minus our deposit. Okay, so our remainder is clearly going to be our 5,200 Rand, which is our initial outstanding amount, minus our actual deposit. And of course, our deposit we are going to have to work out as 20% of our original. So we're going to pop off to our calculator, and we are going to work with 20% of our 5,200, and that gives us 1,040. Okay, and it's our original minus our 1,040, and if we work that out, we're going to get 4,160. Okay, so are you with me? Remember, this was the first amount, the cost of the fridge. They wanted you to put down a deposit, 20% of the original. So we've actually taken 5,200 and reduced it, just like our dress example where we first started off. We've reduced it or decreased it by 20% of the amount. And so now our remainder that we're going to have to pay off is 4,160. Okay, now what they are wanting us to actually work out is the value of the monthly installment. Now we're not even close yet to knowing this, but we have to first make a start at working out how much the loan is. Okay, so can you see that what we're going to be doing is we're going to be saying, right, this is actually how much my loan is for, all right, or my outstanding amount, and I am going to pop that amount in place of the P, 4160. Then I'm going to have to take, and folks, please will you have a look at this particular formula. Do not be confused if you are given the formula as IN instead of NI. Can you see that we don't want you to think it's a different formula when in fact it's exactly the same formula? The only difference is the order of this term. I times N and N times I are exactly the same thing. Okay, so it makes no difference which way around you multiply. But I'm going to take it as follows, and I'm going to say I times N, my I is 12%, all right? And remember 12% is my 12 over 100. And then I'm going to times it by the number of years. And do you remember how many years it was? 3 years this money is going to be outstanding, so I'm going to times it by 3. Right, and I'm going to leave you to pop that into your calculator, and it's going to give you 5,657 Rand and 60 cents. All right, so this is what you owe. Okay, included in this, so it's including the interest. Now they want you to work out what is the value of your monthly installment. So you know that for the value of your monthly installment, you are going to have to work out what this value is, okay, divided by how many months you're going to be paying it off. And remember that for every year, it's 12 months. So therefore, for 3 years, you are going to have to make 36, 3 times 12, 36 payments. And you're going to pop that into your calculator, and your monthly payment is going to be 157 Rand and 16 cents. Okay, so I'm hoping that that makes lots and lots of sense, and we've now covered that first example. All right, now the next question, the total amount paid for the fridge. Okay, so now you're thinking, okay, total amount must be quite easy to work out, because remember, it's actually what has come out of your pocket at different times, but the total amount must be the deposit plus your 36 payments. Okay, that's just common sense. So what we're going to do is our deposit, and if you remember, your deposit was 1,040, and your 36 payments, okay, was 5,657.60, and of course, if we add those together, we're going to get 6,697.60. Okay? And our third question says, the savings that would have been made if you bought the fridge for cash. Okay, so the savings that would have been made if you had been able to walk into the shop and you had been able to take out some crisp 200 and 100 Rand notes and you had been able to pay cash. Now clearly this here is my cash price, and this here is what I landed up paying. So that means that we're going to have to work out the difference between these two. Okay, so that means that we're going to be taking our 6,697.60, and we're going to be subtracting our 5,200, and that is pretty simply 1497.60. Okay, now the fourth question says that sometimes when you actually buy something, you have to pay an insurance. Now, guys, when they actually started off telling you about hire purchase, they made the point that you take the fridge home, but until you have actually paid the very last payment, that fridge does not belong to you. It belongs to either the furniture shop or the bank. Now, you must imagine what must happen if perhaps there's a fire in your home, or perhaps there's a flood, or let's say you've bought a lounge suite and you've poured coffee all over it and it's been damaged. Now, the value of that then reduces, but it belongs to the financial institution. So it means that you have to insure it for all of those kind of eventualities. So normally a hire purchase agreement, they tell you you have to pay insurance, one of those facts of life. So they perhaps tell us at this point in time that the insurance is at 21% of the initial price. Okay, now this is up to them. They work out what they think is fair, and they say that they want you to insure this particular item. So, of course, my insurance is going to have to be 21%, so it's 21% of the initial price, which is the price if you'd gone in there and paid cash. And, of course, if we work that out using our calculator, it works out to be 1,092 Rand. So the bad news is that this amount gets added onto your outstanding balance. All right. So the bad news is that we were actually paying, at one point in time, we were paying 157 Rand a month, but we now have to take our 1,092 for the insurance, and we're going to have to divide that by 36 as well. And if you take 1,092 and divide that by 36, we land up with 30 Rand and 33 cents. So we are going to have to pay an extra 30 Rand 33 cents every month for insurance. Okay, so what does that mean about our monthly payment? All right, and logically, it means that we're going to have to take our 157 Rand and 16 cents and our 30 Rand and 33 cents. So just remember that this was for the outstanding balance, OB, on the fridge. And this was for insurance. And of course, if we add those two bits together, we're going to get our monthly payment to be 187 Rand and 49 cents. Okay, now for those of you who are just starting to be financially savvy, you can see that when you go out and you buy something, you're not quite aware of the impact of borrowing the money. You can see here that you've landed up paying quite a lot extra for the luxury of getting that fridge immediately, and that's the disadvantage. Also, of course, you have to pay for the insurance should anything go wrong. Right, we're on to our next example off of page 102, and this is about John, who is going to buy a car using hire purchase. With the bank, he pays a deposit of 22,500 and then a monthly installment of 3,482 Rand over a period of 6 years. How much in total does he pay for the car? Right, let's have a look at what we have as values here. So we know that John is paying his deposit. We don't know what percentage it is, but he's paying a deposit of 22,500 Rand. And then he pays a monthly installment of, so we know that every single month he has to budget for 3,482 Rand, but it's going to be monthly over a period of 6 years. So this is times 6 years, but now remember, 6 years we need to convert into months. So how do we convert 6 years into months? We clearly have to take our 6 and times by 12. And this is going to tell me how much he pays over the 72 months. Right, so let's go and get our calculator out, because we need to work out how much he's going to pay in total for the car. So remember, our total is going to comprise of his deposit of 22,500, and then we are going to have to take his monthly installment, times it by 72, which seems like a heck of a whack. Let's have a look at what that comes to. Right, 22,500 plus 3,482 times by our 6 times 12, and we know that that comes to 72. 273,204. Right. Have we answered the question? How much in total does he pay for the car? And yes, he pays 273,204. Now that's 273,000. We have no idea how much he has actually paid in interest. Nowhere does it say, but you can see that he has actually paid out 22,500 Rand in deposit. So perhaps if this is at a deposit of 20%, you can see that he's landed up paying in an extra heck of a whack in order to pay this thing off on hire purchase.